Happy Monday, Bloom Tribe. This is Dr. Molly, and we are going to do a little bit of Mindfulness Monday today. I know a lot of people that are in life coaching or are in social media at all talk about Motivation Monday, which I agree. Sometimes you really have to get your motivation up in order to meet the needs of the week and kind of get yourself going. However, I've chosen the theme as Mindfulness Mondays because so often in our lives, when we hit that week and our feet hit the ground running, we lose track of everything that happens in our lives and we're just spinning through the week until we get to Friday, until we can kind of be present again for the weekends. And so I would really love to reinforce the theme of being mindful on Mondays and think about what you need in your life in order to be ready and present and making sure you're making the most of your time, whether it be at work or with family or whatever your obligations are that week, that you're being mindful of what you need to do in that week coming up and very present in the world around you. So I will offer a quick apology. I have glasses on. I typically don't tape with glasses on because of the glare. But in the Pacific Northwest, it is allergy season and my eyes are feeling thrashed. So I'm sorry if you get a little bit of glare and you can't see my eyes as well as you could, so that it's as personal as it could be, but I need some spectacles today. So Mindfulness Monday, the topic we're going to talk about is decentering today. And this message goes out to one of my clients with love that is having the rumination thing happen to him in his life. So I thought decentering would be good. Typically, I do my mindfulness lessons in a different order, but I think this one is very timely for some people right now. So we'll just shake it up and do it a little bit different. So decentering, you may be asking yourself, what the hell is decentering? So whenever I look at something in mindfulness, or I have to explain what I call psychobabble, is I want to make sure that I try to break it down so it's in the least psyche terms that I can, so that it's actually consumable for you and you can start practicing it. And decentering is one of my absolute favorite techniques of mindfulness. So I like it for several reasons. One, there's a lot of Mollyisms innate in it, and we'll go through those as we get to know each other about what is Mollyism. So one of the first Mollyisms that I really like to use is it has to do with rumination. And someone once told me, and I absolutely love the saying, that I could and still do at times. I could take a piece of lint and knit a sweater out of it and wear it around all day, because I will take something this small and I'll end up making it huge, and then it just covers my whole world, and I'll wear it around all day and just mope with it. So um, decentering is an intentional act of mindfulness where we can observe our thinking, but we don't get pulled into the content of it. You don't go down that rabbit hole. So often we do this where we get a little thought and we ruminate on it and ruminate on it, and we sit in it. And the client that I'm thinking of right now, and that this message is going out to with all kinds of love, is told me, I just have a hard time not focusing on the bullshit sometimes. Like I can't get out of the shit. And it's really hard because when you're trying to create change in your life and you're trying to be in a better place, but you have things going on around you that you maybe can't control, it's so easy to concentrate on those things, but also have a negative thought pattern that starts happening that leads you to think that you can't do things that you want to. And so the beauty about decentering is one, just to repeat it, is it allows us to observe our thinking, but you don't go down the rabbit hole. You don't necessarily get pulled into the content. But it also separates the personalization from the thought of it being a thought. And so, just as an example, if we took change, for instance, if you in your head are thinking, I can't change, I can't make a change, right? Eventually, when we do that negative script in our head, we believe we can't change. Where the reality is, you're having a thought that you can't change. You have the ability to change, and absolutely you can change, because we all have that capability within us. I mean, we have to make sure that we observe it as a process and take certain actions, have accountability, all the things that we know about change and setting goals. But the difference of that thought is, I can't change. Um, and having a thought of I can't change is you don't personalize it. So it's not you as a person not being able to change. In decentering, you observe the thought and you let it go without judgment. And so decentering is, I mean, it's so simple that you just start one, observing what you're thinking. And if that thought pops into your head of, I can't change, instead of you going down the rabbit hole, being like, I can't change because my mom and dad said I would never change, or my spouse said they would never change, and that's why they left, or I've never been able to make the change before. Um, Instead of taking all of those and going down the rabbit hole and thinking about your past failures and just what could happen and awfulizing everything, you're able to have that thought pop into your head. I mean, don't restrict it because that's just going to get frustrating when you're trying to like push thoughts away. And so have the thought in your head and then just observe it. Don't judge it, but acknowledge that it's a thought and it's not you and let it go. And so you may have to work at this for a while because it is so easy to just have those negative thoughts and that negative script start, and then you can't stop it because it's that's the way our brain works. If you've seen the studies about how many negative thoughts we've had versus positive thoughts, our negatives always outweigh. And so you may not ever be able to completely stop negative thinking or negative self-talk because that's just part of what our brain does. Um, but you can have that thought come in and then decide what you do with it. You can control how you choose to react to that thought. You can either just chalk it up of, oh, I just have that thought, and it's a thought. It's not me. It's a thought that I'm having. You can make that choice, or you can choose to go down the rabbit hole with it. The other Mollyism that I love with this that I think really speaks to it, and apologies that I am using a four-letter word here, but it really kind of just captures it in this thought. And I told my client this, like, dude, you need to just take the diaper off. You need to clean it up because sitting in your own shit all day long does nothing but give you a rash, and nobody wants that. I mean, it is just like biological fact that if you sit in shit all day, it's going to do nothing good for you. And so you need to, one, acknowledge that you are capable of having a thought and letting it go and separating it from you as a person. So decentering is a very simple technique, but it is very good because you'll observe your thinking and realize how often you have thoughts like that, how often your thoughts have impacted how capable you think you are, or how you are able to make a change or control your environment, and how often your brain is giving you false messages that they're internalizing and deciding that's who you are as a person. So the challenge for Mindfulness Monday this week is to be conscious of your thoughts. And then when a thought comes in that is not one that you want to sit around with all day, and it's not necessarily doing anything for your positive sense of self, go ahead and observe that you had it. Don't judge it, and then just let it go, and then have some other thoughts. So we'll get a lot deeper into different mindfulness techniques, but I want to leave that one just kind of simply there. Just let the thought go as it comes into your head, and acknowledge that you are capable of doing that, and that thoughts are not negative thoughts about yourself are not who you are as a person necessarily. So acknowledge the thought is not you and let it go and take the shitty diaper off. Okay. Much love for the Bloom Tribe this week. I hope that that helps a little bit, especially for the person I'm holding in my head and my heart right now. We'll see you again soon. Bye from Dr. Molly.